Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Jessica Perry. We have a good amount of people here, so I think we're going to get started, and people will filter in as they do. My name is Jessica Perry. I am the member communications and experience specialist for the IEEE Signal Processing Society, and I want to welcome you to the 2021 membership preview. Sorry. A couple of guidelines for today's webinar. So an hour, we're planning to end at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time today, and all lines are muted for the duration of the presentation. You'll take a look in your chat box. There will be links related to the slides that have related links. We'll have the link pasted in the chat box for your easy access, and we'll also be sending those out following the presentation. If you have questions throughout the presentation, the Q&A panel is available to you. You can ask questions throughout, but the questions will not be addressed until the end of the presentation. And you can submit your question using the Q&A and direct it to all panelists. They will be addressed at the end of the presentation, and whatever questions we don't get to will be followed up with through an email to those who attended and those who didn't. And the session is being recorded and will be shared after with the attendees and for those who missed it. Today's speakers, we have SPS Hari, our Vice President of Membership, and Arash Mohammadi he's our Membership Development Committee Chair. And we have support from the IEEE Signal Processing staff. I'm Jessica Perry, as I said, Member Communications and Experience Specialist. Teresa Argyropoulos, our Senior Manager of Operations, and George Alexon, our Administrative Assistant. The agenda for today's meeting will go into who we are, who the Processing Society is, take a look at our membership throughout the world, and some of our products, programs, and services. We're going to go into some member satisfaction information about member research we did earlier this year. Talk about some of the ways SPS is acting in global crises. And then kind of the bulk of this will be a preview of the 2021 membership year. The membership year begins this Sunday, August 16th. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some new pricing that we have. And then we'll follow that up with Q&A and then SPY noon. And then we'll kick it off from there. Let's say trying to leave a good amount of discussion time for those who are interested. And I just throw it over to Hari. You can take it away for us, Hari.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And I hope that you are able to hear me. So, IEEE Signal Processing Society, we're also known as SPS. And we are all around the world. We have membership all around the world. And we would like to share with you who we are. So SPS is IEEE's first society. It was established on the 2nd of June, 1948. So we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary in 2023. And we are hoping that we will also compile a rich history of SPS with a lot of content about SPS pioneers who have contributed to the growth of signal processing globally. SPS is IEEE's fourth largest society. It has more than 17,000 members, and it has membership which spans more than 120 countries. Currently, most members are centered in regions 8 and 10, and we have a large network of chapters and student branch chapters. And like any other volunteering society, we have a very strong volunteer network, more than 1,000 people across different society activities, which span conferences, publications, membership growth, continuing education, technical activities, and many more interactions between the members and across societies as part of the IEEE society. Next slide. So if you look at what does SPS offer, as if you are a student, you would be looking at maybe trying to publish in a journal which is run by the society. So the most popular journal of the IEEE SPS is the IEEE Signal Processing Magazine, and it is a bi-monthly publication. It has a high impact factor also, and this sort of gives you articles written by distinguished experts who are researchers about concepts and cutting edge technology which govern the modern day systems. So the magazine is in some sense a bridge to connect with students, industry members, and active researchers. Now, we also cater to the research-minded membership. So research students and faculty members in academia and industry people who work in R&D would like to share their research output in publications like the Transactions. So we have 7 such publications across different signal processing disciplines, and they're all available on the digital platform IEEE Explore, and the members have full access to it. So if you want to have access to the latest research results, then membership would offer you easy access to all these publications. We also have the signal processing newsletter. Then we have a content gazette, which basically gives you an overview of all the publications across all the journals and magazines, so that you can have a brief, a quick view about what is there in store for you, and then you can go and maybe dive deeper and find out whatever paper is interesting to you. A very important content repository is the resource center, where you have a lot of tutorial videos, plenary talks at the flagship conferences, videos recorded there, and people who share data sets for research. And if you have your own recordings of videos about whatever you have done in your work, you can upload that. So SPS Resource Center is a very rich center for accessing information apart from the regular publications. And of course, in this digital domain world, SPS blogging, blogs are also available. We have a very new open journal of signal processing, and this is open for submissions. So we would encourage researchers to submit papers of your current interest into the IEEE Open Journal of Signal Processing, which is based on the open access concept. Next slide. As part of the society's goal, we do have the objective of trying to share with all its members and non-members who wish to attend our events. And typically, these events are held in the form of conferences and workshops, seasonal schools, and forums. Now, we have 2 flagship conferences, ICASP and ISIP. ICASP is the International Conference on Acoustic, Speech and Signal Processing, and ISIP is the International Conference on Image Processing. These are the 2 flagship conferences which are held every year and are rated to be the top conferences in this area of signal processing. We also have conferences which we partner with other societies. The ISB, which we partner with EMBS, and ICME, which we partner with the Computer Society. And as you would notice here, the conferences and events are a place where networking happens. Young researchers can meet people who are distinguished people in the signal processing area. You can forge new network links. Students can find out who they would work with after they graduate. They would also try to interact with potential industry people who come to the conferences so that you can maybe get a job. And then you would also interact with your own peers from across the globe. So these conferences and events provide you a very rich technical and social information, or a platform where you can interact and enhance your networking, social networking, as well as interact with the leaders and your peers to gain technical knowledge and get exposed to the current cutting edge technologies which are showcased at these events. Next slide. So the upcoming conferences and events are the IEEE MMSP, which will be held in Tampere in Finland. So as you know, due to the pandemic, all our conferences in 2020 are virtual and they are free. So you can get a sample of what exactly happens in these conferences when it is in person, but now it is virtual. So if you look at all the conferences in 2020, they're all virtual. ISIP 2020 will be held in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. It's fully virtual. So it will be held in October. MMSP is in September. It's a workshop. And next year, we hope to have ICAS in person in 2021 in Toronto. And the first IEEE conference on autonomous systems will be also in Canada, in Montreal, in August in 2021. So ICAS is a new conference which SPS has launched, and it will be basically concentrated on autonomous systems, which is an emerging signal processing system. All these conferences are virtual and free, as I mentioned. So please do join these conferences in 2020. Next slide. Now, a lot of activities are also geared towards students. We believe, the society believes, that students are the foundation for any large voluntary organization, and we believe that all of us have been students at one point in time. So therefore, we do give a lot of importance to student activities and provide a lot of resources which will benefit students. So we organize student competitions, which is basically the Signal Processing Cup, which is held in ICASP. We have a Video and Image Processing Cup, which is held at ISIP. And here, globally, people can pitch in their solutions to a problem posed by the signal processing researchers. So students come up with very interesting solutions to it, and there is a vetting process, and it goes through multiple layers of screening, and finally the winner is declared at the conferences. Recently, we also introduced a 5-minute video clip contest where a group of students can create a video about a concept in signal processing which they would like to highlight based on either their own work, or they could maybe put together an experimental prototype and showcase how signal processing impacts the design of new systems. These activities and resources also provide the students to interact with industry people. So there are a lot of job opportunities, student job fair and luncheons, and students get conference discounts, and they also have travel grants to SPS conferences and workshops. So student members are are privileged members of our society, because we want to ensure that the signal processing base globally is strengthened via the student network. Next slide. Now, for any organization to succeed, we need a lot of time and effort from people. Okay, and IEEE, being a professional society, is based on a lot of inputs from volunteers. So volunteering for a professional society has a lot of benefits, and the Signal Processing Society also depends on a large network of more than 1,000 volunteers, leaders making their mark across the society activities. So one can get engaged with the society through technical activities. So technical activities could be in the form of attending various technical sessions at the conferences, but you can also engage yourself at your own institution where you are by organizing conferences, interacting with people who provide you with mentorship, and so on and so forth. And there is one more very important activity which or opportunity for members to engage in technical activities is being part of technical committees. Now, these technical committees typically will be doing the review of papers at these conferences, and they also plan various educational activities for the society and look at the future of signal processing. What topics are important for the future of signal processing is deliberated in these technical committees. So as part of technical activities, members are encouraged to join these technical committees as members or as affiliate members, or even just attend these meetings, which are open. Remember that Signal Processing Society is an open society, so any meeting can be, most of the meetings, if they are declared open, are open to members. And of course, you can, there are a lot of volunteers who look at membership growth, publications, because we need people to review papers, to ensure that the quality of the journal is very high. Then you need people, volunteers, to organize conferences and workshops. And then there, of course, there are awards, there is public visibility, and we strongly believe in diversity and inclusive set of volunteers. And once you join the society, you will find things which you would not have imagined. So it's a wonderful experience being part of or being a volunteer in Signal Processing Society. Next slide. Okay, so if you want to know where we are and how are we distributed, we have this geographic organization, and you will see that we are all around the globe, and the different colors indicate different regions. These regions are basically defined by IEEE, and so we do have 10 regions, and throughout these 10 regions, the left part is the regions 1 through 6, and the right side of your the slide gives you the overall global network. And you will see that region 7 is Canada, 8 is Africa, Europe, and Middle East, 9 is Latin America, and 10 is Asia Pacific. So we have 300 plus sections throughout the 10 regions, and about 220 plus chapters and student branch chapters worldwide. Now, these are the basic sort of support structure for the whole society activities. Next slide. If you want to know how we are, or what is the composition, we do have a 77% of male and 12% female, which I think is needs to be corrected. We Signal Processing Society strongly encourages women to be participating in the society activities, become members of the society, and these statistics are based on how each member declares what their affiliation and the information about themselves. And you will see that if you look at student members, they are about 8.7%. Graduate students are about 16%. So if you look at the total student population, it is close to being about 24 to 25%. So we have a large section of student members. And then the higher grade members are members, senior members, fellows, life members, and so on and so forth. They do have, they comprise about 74%. And then they have people from academia and industry, and some government organizations also. Okay, and we do have a category called affiliates, who are basically not members of IEEE. So one can become an SPS member by not becoming an IEEE member. That's also possible. So we have a small percentage of them. But the composition or the segment which we are very interested in strengthening and expanding are women in engineering and young professionals. So young professionals are those who are members who have just graduated from academia and have joined maybe industry or maybe even an academic institution and are in their early part of their career. And we also have about 45% of SPS members as industry professionals, which also shows you that by becoming a member of this society, you will be able to interact with all segments of the professionals who basically come or part of the SPS society. Next slide. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have more than 220 plus chapters and student branch chapters, and you can see on the right side that you will see across the globe the number of such chapters and student branch chapters distributed in different countries. And if you want to start a chapter in your organization, academic institution, there is a possibility that you need to apply. You make a petition to IEEE, and then they will allow you to start if you have all the necessary requirements of membership and the approvals. And then you can also have funding for these chapter events. So chapters can organize lectures, technical talks, social events, conference, travel grants are available, and a lot more incentives for starting a chapter apart from the technical enrichment each member of the chapter would get. Just to give you an idea, the 5 largest chapters are Beijing, Germany, UK and Ireland, Santa Clara Valley and Tokyo. And if you don't have a chapter near you, then you can always form your own chapter. The link is available on the slide, and then maybe it will be available in your chat box. So you can always create a chapter if you are close to, if you don't have a chapter close by. Next slide. Okay, and as a chapter, you can again provide all the members of the chapters a forum for collaboration, because great things happen when people come together. And that is one thing which we all should realize, that you can only do so much if you're on your own. But if you collectively work together to solve a problem, then there are very high degree of success possible if you work together, because you complement the skills, you complement the knowledge, and you will start learning how to do things in a team. And that is what the IEEE SPS Society and other societies also provide you, an opportunity for you to work together to solve a larger problem. So these are activities you do have, as I said, opportunity to collaborate, organize technical talks, and also have fun. We have social events, so we're all human beings, so we would like to interact, and during this interaction, many things happen. So in some sense, a chapter is a good platform for people to come together for professional and technical activities. Next slide. Okay, so I think I will stop here from on my side. I gave you a glimpse of what SPS offers. Now I will request Professor Arash Mohammadi to give you some more information about member satisfaction. Over to you, Arash.
Thank you, Professor Harry. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to all from my side as well. So now that we have some picture of the Signal Processing Society, the different journals, conferences that we offer, as a membership team, our main goal or high priority is to improve the quality of services provided to our members, to improve the satisfaction level of our members, and to get them more involved in different aspects of a signal processing society. Understanding, so in a recent survey, which was conducted early this year in February 2020, so the survey was held for about 23 days, and 950 current and past members of the Signal Processing Society were participated in this survey. So the objective was to hear the voice of our members and identify the strengths of our the Signal Processing Society and the directions to further improve and further engage the members and everyone in our Signal Processing Society. So the result of this survey, so based on the initial result was that about 65% of our members, our current members, are satisfied with their SPS membership, and among this, 76% are likely to renew their membership. So the main reasons provided in this survey that was conducted early this year for the people, for our current members to stay and continue renewing and continue being with us at Signal Processing Society was to remain technically current, given all the different technical communities that are in Signal Processing Society, conferences, international conferences, publications, and internationally well-known scientists that are in the society. So to remain technically current, these provides opportunity for everyone. Another reason based on this survey was to have access to IEEE Signal Processing magazine. So if you become a member, the regular member, you have access to the digital copy, and also you can have access to a print copy of Signal Processing magazines, which are more survey or tutorial type papers, giving you insight and high level vision of different aspects of society. Another reason for staying with society based on this survey was for continuing education. You want to continue to higher level of education, doing masters, PhD, and so on. So Signal Processing Society provided good guidelines and help students and graduate students to continue in this regard. Enhanced career opportunities, as Professor Harry mentioned, about 45 to 50% of our members are industry members. Each year in conferences, big companies are attending, and there are job fairs, and so this provides a career opportunity for students working in related topics to find and land good jobs. And finally, the final top reason for staying with us at Signal Processing Society was to get a reduced registration fee to SPS conferences. So when it comes to the areas of the growth, for example, the 950 people participated in this survey mentioned that they are unaware of publications, or they are unaware how to access different publications of Signal Processing Society. About 30% or 40% mentioned that they are unaware of local chapter events that are happening in their area. So what we understand based on this survey is that one direction to further improve our membership involvement and providing and satisfying and our members is the communication, provide better communication of where different stuffs can be found, about the events. So later on, I think Jessica will talk about the Signal Processing app, which will provide this help in improving the communication venue. And another one is localities, to have more local chapter involvements, local communication within each chapters. first survey on this year. So the results were very interesting, very helpful in moving forward. We plan to further expand this surveying and have focus groups. We have survey focused on different groups like young professional students, industry professionals, and so on. So next, I think this was about our survey statistics. Then about Jessica, next. Okay, so as we all know, we are in this unfortunate and sad pandemic time. COVID-19 is everywhere and affecting all the people around the world. So Signal Processing Society also stepped up in this pandemic time. Next slide. In particular, so the main thing that so we focused or we built on the is to move on to having virtual conferences or fully virtual conferences. For a long time, there were these discussions that we need to add a virtual component to conferences like ICASP, ICIP, and so on. So for people who cannot attend physically, can benefit from these conferences and can somehow network and get the ideas and be up to date. But this pandemic give us this opportunity for the ICASP, which was in May. So in a very short period of time, the ICASP moved fully virtual, and it went very well. And another very interesting thing that Signal Processing Society did is that this virtual conference become fully free for everyone who wanted to attend. So the registration, if you don't have a paper to cover, registration would be free, and everybody could attend in attendance of about 16,000 attendees registered in the conference and enjoyed different talks, plenaries, and the opportunities, panels, and so on. So in a regular ICASP conference, typically 3,000 people are joining. So this pandemic time and give Signal Processing Society then moved on to provide the opportunity for about 16,000 people to listen to ICASP presentations. And moving on, so ICIP 2020, as Professor Harry mentioned, would be another fully virtual conference in October, and the registration would be free for everyone. So I encourage you all to consider attending that. The focus of ICIP is more on image processing, and but it's a very high caliber conference. And moving on later on, this pandemic gave us the opportunity to have these virtual components in future events. So not fully virtual, but have this virtual component to also allow our members who cannot attend take advantage of the events happening at the conference. Next. Another event that shows that Signal Processing Society tries to connect with events happening, the specific events happening in around us in the world, is the unfortunate killing of George Floyd, which happened in June and resulted in several movements and for racial justice and Black Lives Matter events. So Signal Processing Society also stood up with these movements and tried, and we are trying and focused to further advance our devotion to these movements, supporting K-20 STEM education, and also having specific programs for and focusing on community outreach in the cities which are more black communities like Philadelphia, Chicago, and Detroit, and so on. And we very welcome your comments and your support and your ideas in helping us to move in these directions and do our job in helping these worldwide movements against racial bad things. Okay, I think that would be that was my session. Now I think Jessica will move on describing our 2021 membership year.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Arash, and thank you, Hari, for the great presentation so far. I'm here to discuss the 2021 membership year, things that are upcoming, things you can expect I don't know what the composition is here. I know we have some members, some prospective members here, so welcome. Here we go. So this is the IEEE and SPS membership life cycle. As we mentioned earlier, I don't know if everyone was here yet, but the 2021 membership year begins this Sunday, August 16th. So that is the time when new members can join IEEE and SPS for service ending December 31st, 2021. So essentially, they're getting 4 months of service in addition to the full year of 2021. And then if you are a member currently, your renewal period will begin next month, and you'll start getting communications about that. And then if you haven't renewed yet and you don't plan to, you'll be deactivated in February. And there's a couple of links here. We'll send these out with the presentation as well, but just to know what to expect this coming year. Overall pricing remaining the same for this year, for this upcoming year, sorry. Essential members, $22 per year, preferred members, $39 per year, and as always, $1 for student members to receive essential membership, and $20 for preferred. And membership includes electronic and digital copies of our magazine, monthly delivery of our newsletter, our content gazette, and access to our resource center. Plus, lots of other stuff, discounts on conferences, discounts on publishing, OJSP, eligibility for leadership roles, networking opportunities, and also many of our activities do have a membership qualifier. So if you are a student and want to enter a competition, there are certain eligibility requirements that your team will have to meet as far as membership is concerned. If you are a preferred member, you get all of that plus you have the option of receiving the print edition of IEEE Signal Processing magazine, as well as access to the Signal Processing digital library. And that's a great deal. For the extra $17 a year, you'll have unlimited access to all SPS solely owned publications through IEEE Explorer. So that's what is it? Transactional signal processing, image processing, information forensics security. All of our journals will be readily available to you through IEEE Explorer for just an extra $17 with that preferred membership. And new this year, and new in 2021, this is kind of the big one, we've developed a more accessible pricing model for those of our members and potential members in low-income economies and developing nations. And you can see that George has pasted the link there to see the list of eligible countries. So our current pricing for essential and preferred membership is $22 and $39 per year. In developing nations, it'll be $11 per year, and in low-income economies, it'll be $4 per year. This pricing model for the developing nations and low-income economies only for the essential package. It's only electronic. You can't get any print publications or anything with an e-membership, but is only available to electronic members. And you can see a list of those eligible countries. And it's a great opportunity, especially for those across the world that want more ready access to our programs and such. But the price tag is a little bit exuberant for them. So that's really exciting news for us. We've been working on it for a while. I'm really excited to launch that. And as always, as mentioned before, a couple of years ago, we established the $1 membership for IEEE student and graduate student members. So SPS or IEEE student and graduate student members can join the society for $1 for the whole year. And as I said, the preferred membership is $20, but this has seen great success for us, especially in Region 10, where student membership has just been booming. And we encourage you to share this information with your colleagues and with your students and with your communities to really get students started young on getting set forward on the signal processing path and kind of developing that member relationship and loyalty early. As Hari mentioned, we have a ton of student programs and we're always developing more. So it's really a great opportunity for them. And even better is when the half year period begins in, I believe, March. That'll be half price even. So IEEE membership is half price beginning in March, and then SPS student membership will be 50 cents for students. So that's an even better deal when that time comes. Some more news coming forward. We have the IEEE and SPS elections are coming up next week. They open on August 17th and close on October 1st. Voting is open to all SPS members, graduate student members and above. So students, unfortunately, are not eligible to vote. But if you're a graduate student or any grade above graduate student, you are encouraged to participate in our election. And George is in the chat box pasting the newsletter articles that we have outlining some of the candidates for IEEE President-elect and Division 9 Director-elect, as well as SPS specifically is looking for, will be electing rather, member or regional directors at large for Regions 1 through 6 and Region 8, as well as members at large. And I believe it was Arash that mentioned this before. We have an app. The SPS Events app is available on the iPhone and I believe Android stores. And this is, we actually launched this version of it in conjunction with ICAST 2020 back in May. And it's really a one-stop resource for everything you would need from the society, society membership information, continuing education information, and it even better acts as a conference app for us during conferences. So in addition to having all of the society information, you have the events module of it, and that contains up-to-date conference scheduling, conference papers, author information, and when there are physical conferences, there are floor plans. It's a really robust app for conferences too. So, and the best part is you don't have to download individual apps for each conference. You'll just be able to go to the single app and refresh, and the most recent version of your most recent conference will be available to you. So it's really a one-stop shop. Once it's on your phone, it's pretty self-contained and maintains itself. All of this is about sustaining, building relationships with our members and sustaining those relationships. So we want to make this a two-way exchange. We want to be there for you, and we would love to hear all of your feedback regarding, this event, other events, conferences, etc. Want to keep this dialogue open and maintain that relationship and breed that loyalty. This is membership development kits. These are very much in progress. This is new for this year. Great way to share SPS membership within your community. So on the right side, you'll see there's a screenshot of our 2021 flyer. But this is an opportunity to share SPS membership at conferences, workshops, through social media, through mailing lists you're on, through community boards. If you're at a school that is currently learning in person, putting it on cork boards around your campus, etc. Just really hoping that our members can be ambassadors to SPS membership and kind of help us promote and help people learn what you've gotten out of SPS membership. The kit is currently on Google Drive. George just pasted a link in there, I believe. And so the folder will continue to be populated throughout the year with more materials. Right now, there's this flyer, there's a $1 student membership flyer, there's an amended version of this slide deck. So if you're posting a talk somewhere and you just need to take a couple of things and you can kind of paste them out and kind of help us out and let people know what SPS has done to help you. And coming soon, we have, with the support of this team, as well as our regional directors at large, we'll be having regional forums coming up. And this is something new that we're exploring, especially as a result of everything that's been going on in the world. Series of discussions with the regional directors and staff and this membership team to discuss local challenges, because right now we're all meeting, we're all from the same, we're all from different places, but we're kind of giving a general scale overview. But I think it'll be great to examine this from a more local perspective, and even within the regions, we have all of these sections that have different issues, whether the internal, external, political, socioeconomic, that are specific to these areas, and we want to have an open dialogue on how we can address them and how SPS can be pivotal in improving or in being supportive throughout these areas. Identifying areas of growth through member programs and technology, and how we, not only as a society, but as people that are involved with technology, can make a bigger impact, whether that be through membership, through humanitarian activities, what have you. So we're sorting these out right now, but the registration link will be coming soon, and it'll be based on your region. So if you're in Region 7, you'll be getting outreach for um, Region 7 forum, and we'll be in touch with you about that soon. This is us, the SPS staff team. That's me, Jessica Perry, and we also have on the line Teresa Argyropoulos, our Senior Manager of Operations, George Alexin, our Administrative Assistant, and she's not here, but Jacqueline Rasher is our Membership Administrative Assistant, and if you've worked with SPS membership activities at all, you probably worked with her processing travel grants and all that, but this is who makes up our team on the staff side. And if you have any questions for us individually, our email addresses are all there. I do more communications, commission strategy. Teresa oversees all of that. George specializes in chapters, and as I said, Jackie is kind of membership programs and services. And if you want to reach all of us, you can do so at the email alias up there, sp-membership-info@ieee.org. And on the right side, you'll see we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And our handle on all of those platforms is IEEE SPS, so feel free to contact us if you could touch there. I know we said we had time for Q&A, just about 15 minutes, 13 minutes for Q&A. I know that, I don't know if anything's come in the Q&A box yet. I don't see anything, but if you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A module and we will get to them. But I know that Teresa has a few that came in advance of the presentation. So Teresa, if you'd like to kick us off.
Well, I see one statement in the chat box. So it's from Karen, who is the chair of the SPS Boston chapter. She is encouraging members to induct people and make nominations for the IEEE HKN Honor Society. So, and if people are looking at the chat feature, there's also a link to the form. So, I don't have any questions in the chat box right now. So, so if people would like to submit questions, we can address them.
And I know there were a few that came in advance of the presentation that are in the document.
There was a question just now by Maria. Can you read it out?
Is SPS have any IEEE membership programs, free membership, like the Electron Devices Society, for example? I could not find this information at the society website.
Okay, Jessica, you want to take that question? Is there?
Yeah, we currently do not have any free membership offerings. We did do that a while back, but we're being a little more careful with that now. I think the $1 for students is our biggest deal right now, but that's something that has been in discussion, whether it be through participating in something or some sort of incentive. But that's something that we haven't looked into too deeply, but something we can keep up in consideration.
There's one more question about ICAST.
Is the conference video like ICAST 2020 available?
Yes, the videos are available on the SPS Resource Center. So if you are a member of SPS, then you have access to the recorded videos. Jessica, would you like to add anything to it?
No, the videos should be up on the Resource Center. I don't know if they are yet, but I'm sure that email blasts and social media posts will go out once the content is available on the Resource Center. I have not seen any news about that. So.
Okay, would you like me to read the questions that were presented in advance?
Yeah, it works.
Okay. I find IEEE Signal Processing magazine hard to read with so much matrix math. In fact, a PhD researcher in the field at an IEEE talk a few years ago said even he had a hard time reading the magazine. Any chance of simplifying things?
Yes, I think this discussion, this point was discussed earlier also, and the society leadership is actively looking at another, let's say, publication which would help people understand signal processing concepts, maybe slightly different than the signal processing magazine, which is as you mentioned, quite technical. So the leadership is looking at an alternative forum or a publication which will sort of address the needs of a much larger community in the signal processing area. Arash, would you like to add anything?
Yes, if I may add, so Signal Processing Magazine, as far as I know, so it's emphasized that the papers going there need to be of survey and tutorial nature. Actually, I'm organizing a special issue there, and this is the main theme. And I think generally speaking, most of the papers are of tutorial nature or supposed to be of tutorial nature, and it's emphasized that so equations and theory should not be included. So what happens recently is that the current editor-in-chief of SPM, Robert, he has few column articles on how he prepared for SPM to reach out to the public, not just specific technical communities. And I think these should help, but this is there to make the papers there more accessible to general audience, not specific technical domains. But I think this should be something that be taken to the publication board, and they can further consider it.
Yeah, I would like to add that the other medium where we would like to explain concepts in a simpler way are the videos. So we do have some interesting, nice videos which we have started. Suppose you want to understand 5G, there is a short video clip on our YouTube channel. You want to understand what is signal processing, the science behind our digital life. So that there are some videos. So we are looking at autonomous vehicles being explained in form of videos. So we are going to build a multimedia rich content to address simple explanation of signal processing concepts in systems, in complex systems. But we take this point seriously, and the leadership is certainly looking at trying to address this issue which was raised about the difficulty of reading the tutorial like papers in the signal processing magazine.
Okay, the next question is, any plans on introducing short-term courses or massive open online courses for student members?
Okay, so IEEE does have the blended learning program where there are courses. The Signal Processing Society specifically does have a lot of video content. Uh, we we do have what is called the learning network also. The IEEE has a learning network, and we are in the process of trying to look at creating modules where we can issue certificates. So we are in the process of trying to construct a coherent set of videos which would form part of a, let's say, a small topic, a topic where these video lectures could be you could go through them and maybe take a simple exam, and then maybe you can get a certificate. So we are in the process of looking at that possibility also.
Okay, the next question is, has membership in some regions been more effective than others?
Well, membership is, as I said, it's about building relationships. There has been growth in membership in certain parts of the world due to various reasons. There is an aspirational part of it because there is a large segment of, or there is a wide base of educational institutions in certain parts of the world, and the students are eager to learn, and signal processing is a core course in almost all engineering disciplines. So therefore there is a very large base of students who are very actively looking at enhancing their knowledge. So yes, certain regions do have a growth curve which is very encouraging for the society. There are regions where people are looking at being part of this society. So these are things which happens in the life of a society, that certain regions do experience growth, and once things are once everybody sees the benefit, then it sort of becomes a bit more contagious, and then a lot more members start working towards contributing and becoming volunteers. So the growth also depends on how much time and effort you also would like to spend in providing the opportunity for others to join you.
We don't have any other questions, but we do have a comment.
I have one more.
Oh.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
We do have a question that came in, and I'm going to field this one over to George if he doesn't mind. We have the question that came in: what is the requirement to establish a new chapter?
So the requirement to establish a new chapter, if it's going to be a chapter level, there needs to be 12 eligible SPS members in your section, and they have to be a member for at least 6 months before they can sign the petition by the IEEE. The petition process is all done online, and we can, after the call, when we follow up with everyone, we can include a link on the petition process and where to sign up. But for a chapter, it's 12 eligible members, and for student branch chapters, it is 6.
Plus a faculty advisor. So for the student branch, you need one regular SPS member also.
That's correct.
What was your comment, Teresa?
We have a comment from Panetta, who is the editor-in-chief of the IEEE Women in Engineering magazine, and she just wanted to let us know that that the magazine accepts high-level topics to communicate and introduce fields to broad audiences, and she's encouraging that perhaps we do a special issue.
Good.
Thank
you. Great. Okay, and we're actually almost right on the dot. So thank you for joining us today. I hope this was informative. Thank you to Arash, Hari, Teresa, and George for everything. If you have any additional, does anyone have any final word before we head out?
I think there is one question that any plan to organize online tutorials? That would be great for student communities. I think distinguished lectures are being now virtually presented. So there are, as far as I know, there are a couple of them in fall 2020 by distinguished lecturers and internationally well-known scientists. But this is a great idea to also have virtual tutorials, and possibly a direction to consider.
Just to add, there are seasonal schools which were supposed to be held in person, and they all have become virtual. So in some sense, there are a lot of events around which are virtual, which include the tutorial nature as well as technical talks. Many of us have been giving these talks to various student chapters and chapters. So if you are connected to a chapter nearby, you can easily request them to connect with a distinguished signal processing researcher, and you can get your get them deliver a talk or even a tutorial.
I mean, I think that's a good point. Like, everyone on this call is welcome to, contribute such items too. Like, if you want to get involved in any way, we're absolutely open to that. And I think that's part of that relationship building and that kind of making things happen. I think the kind of grassroots nature of that would be very exciting. So, anyone have anything else to add?
It might be important to add that if anybody's interested in getting involved at the technical level, there is the TC affiliates. So I don't know, George, if you have that link available that you can share with everybody. And anybody who's interested in getting involved in one of the PCs, you can get involved that way instead of like the short election process. So this gives a wider audience to participate.
And we'll be following up with a recording and some materials following this, some links, some flyers, etc. Probably, and as I said, the membership year begins on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that and tell your colleagues, tell your students. And if no one has anything else to add, I just want to thank everyone for being here and enjoy your weekend, whenever it
Yes.
may begin.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Have a great weekend, all.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Jessica. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.